Mike, clearly a disappointing result for you. Just your thoughts on how that game went and how back and forth it was, and kind of, how this result hits you. It must be tough, I imagine.
Yeah, obviously we lost. We're done. So, momentum is it's a crazy thing in the playoffs, and it was no different tonight. We had the lead, and it seems like when we got the lead, they come at you in waves, and we couldn't withstand that, couldn't get some saves, couldn't get the bounces. And ultimately, they get another break at the end there and win the series.
Left side.
Hi, Mike. For a team that was out of the playoffs in February, you guys where you went 3 rounds deep, you're a couple empty netters and an overtime goal from maybe playing in the Cup Finals. Is it too early to kind of reflect on what you guys did accomplish? Are the wounds still too fresh, or do you have a moment to reflect on what you guys did?
I mean, there's no participation medal. So it's very disappointing. It's hard to get to this point. There's a lot of, you look over the course of the season, exhibition games, training camp, 82 regular season games, the grind of the playoffs to get into the conference finals, and there's definitely, a loss when you don't make it to the ultimate goal, and that's the feeling right now, obviously.
Up front, Mark.
Darnell, you've been part of this thing all the way along. Did you see things in your team, this year that you've not seen before? And maybe you could just tell us how you made it through all these playoff games. Obviously some kind of injury going on. How hurt were you?
First off, the group was a resilient group. We start off the year great, go through a stretch where, we go from the top team in our division, top team in our conference, to 6 points out of the playoffs. And easily our group could have just quit on each other. I've seen it before. I've seen us get into January and February, and, things aren't going our way, and it just piles on. You make a coaching change, and sometimes, guys, as the group, it showed the maturity in our group that we were able to turn it around. And now, we're sitting in the Final Four. You don't get to the Final Four by accident. Our group we earned it, and we got here. But like Mike said, there's no participation medals. We're all competitors, so when you lose, it stings, because our ultimate goal is to win a Stanley Cup, and we didn't get it done this year, so it hurts. I tore my hip flexor, so just dealt with that for 3 series.
Right side, Daniel.
I'll just kind of follow that up, Darnell. This is you guys have been waiting to kind of take steps for all these years, and you get to the conference final. How close are you to kind of feeling like you take that final step, or to get to where you want to go?
We're hungry. We're a hungry group. But with all that said, you get to the conference finals, and Smitty just laid it out. There's a long, long road to get back into the playoffs next year, and then the grind begins. There's a grind to get through that 82, and there's another grind to get through one series, another grind to get through the next one. So our group's just hungry to, it sucks, it stings. We didn't get the job done that we wanted to get done. But we got a hungry group that knows that, you can take steps, but you got to follow it up.
Back on the left.
Darnell, could you, all these fans have been watching you play for 2 months here, clearly injured. The torn hip flexor, is that from the end of the regular season?
Yeah.
And I know you guys don't like to do this, but can you let us in on, how hard it is to play at this level of hockey when you're nursing that kind of an injury?
Everyone's banged up this time of year. Our our medical staff, thanks TD, taped it up, and some anti-inflams, and you go. There's no excuse. When you get to this point in the season, you want to be on your game and play at a certain level. So there's no excuse. Everyone's banged up this time of the year. I wanted to, myself personally, I wanted to be better in this series, and it's just added motivation for Summer to come back and be that difference maker next year.
In the middle.
Mike, between Draisaitl playing through what he played through and Darnell playing through what I mean, just your thoughts on the minutes they played and the grind and kind of, I know it's playoffs and everybody's hurt to a degree, but these seem pretty significant.
Yeah, I mean, warriors. You know, warriors, but those are your leaders. Those are your leaders. Those are what other guys look up to. And when you're seeing your top players, you know, battle through injuries and you know, throw it all on the ice and give everything they have, then you want to do the same. But like Nancy said, like there's a lot of guys that you probably don't know about that are ice bags and Advils after games, but that's when it comes down to it. That's usually who wins is who wants to put it all out there the most. And unfortunately, we're sitting on the outside looking back in, but it's not out of lack of try. Guys gave it everything they had, and guys are banged up, and they're still, you know, going out there and you know, trying to win us hockey games. And like I said, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth for sure when you're talking about this right now, to be honest. So it's obviously disappointing, but big lessons to learn.